The Doncaster match. What are your memories of that?
Yeah, the season 25 years ago, it was a really tough season, and the Doncaster game certainly, last game at the Goldstone ground really was in my memory. I remember the game quite well. I remember the 2 red cards early on, and the scenes of winning the game just gives a real chance of staying up. That will be there forever, and congratulations to Steve and the team for doing it.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, exactly. I think every Albion fan knows that you're a lifelong supporter, and the Goldstone was, you used to go there when you were a lad. How much of your love for that old place made you do what you've done for the club now?
Well, it's huge. I started going in '77, so soon after I started going, we got to the top division, which was a big thing. The crowds were immense. So, as a young boy going to the games with my dad, my granddad, my brother, it's just it's very memorable, and we got big crowds in those days, and it's just very exciting. Every other week it was a big excitement. I remember on a Saturday morning before a home game, sort of just walking around the house, just preparing for the game.
At the glorious Goldstone ground. So let's head back into the 60s to start with. You remember the 60s when these people were. So our first player, the 60s are over this side, I believe. He played a club record 247 consecutive matches for the Albion, and won the 3rd Division South title in 1958 against Eric Gill. Also Eric, hailing from the wonderful Seaford, Ford. He played more games in goal for the Albion than anyone else, won the Division 4 title in 1965 and got promotion to Division 2 in 1972. It's Brian Parry! Let's move into the 70s now, starting with a young man who hasn't changed actually since the 70s. I wish he would, but he won promotion in 1977 and 1979. It's Andy Robbins! And he's still on behalf of the club on match days, I think soon. Also on that table there, we've got a chap whose nickname was Tiger. But he was only 5'6" tall, so I like to stand in this chair and give us a big wave. It's Tiger Tools, Brian! There he is. Just worrying that they were going to the next, hailing from Yapton down there, he made his debut for the Albion at the age of 19. He scored the goal against Rochdale that secured promotion to Division 2 in 1972. John Tumbleman's here. John! Just over there. And he made his debut at the age of 16. Do I need to say any more? Everyone's favourite is Ian Chapman! Next up, I love this. 252 appearances and 16 goals for the Albion, and 1 clean sheet when he played in goal for the first 8 minutes away at Millwall when Perry Digley was injured in the warm-up. It's Gary Trimmer! Next, 315 appearances for the Albion and 1 scored at Plymouth from the halfway line. It has to be Robert Cobner! international, played in the 1986 World Cup finals and won promotion to Division 2 in 1988. Steve Penny! Thanks for coming, Steve. I don't know about this fella. He had 2 playing spells here. He was youth team manager and first team manager for 86 matches. He has a 25-year association with playing or managing this club. Tim Wilkins!
Used to call him Windy.
While we're over at that tape, actually, a fellow that did an absolutely sterling job for this club, absolutely handicapped by the club finances, made some inspired signings from some strange places like Johnny Bird and Robert Cobbler, led the club to promotion to Division 2 in 1988. The gaffer Barry Lloyd! A round of applause for Gary Hodgson! He's a local lad. He made 148 appearances for the Albion and he made his debut at the age of 17 alongside a 36-year-old Steve Foster. It's Ross Johnson! Next up, this player made more appearances than anyone else in the 96-97 season, the last one of the Goldstone obviously, and he made 4 of the 5 goals in that Fans United match. It's Paul McDonald! And last one that time, I think. We go back to the goalkeepers. This chap made his first team debut at the age of just 18. He kept 5 consecutive clean sheets in the league to equal the club record. Nicky Russ! Chap sitting down in front of me here who, is an England legend, Tottenham legend, Brighton Hove Albion manager, and now the club ambassador, still doing great things for this club. Please welcome Alan Lowry. One more. We're so pleased that you can be here with us tonight. It's a chap who had a fairly decent job and then decided to come to a football club that was 11 points adrift at the bottom of the table and not going anywhere very fast and in all sorts of problems. But he did an absolute miracle, and without that miracle, mostly none of this would be around us now. Please welcome Steve Gritt. Very odd experience,
Well, it was, a lot of people were here, some of the guys who played were here, and at the time it was the most important game in the club's history, because if we didn't win that game, we were getting relegated, and although I'd already pledged, if I'd beaten Archer, that I would still stay on if we got relegated, I would become the chairman, However, all of us know how difficult it is to get out of the conference because there was only one team promoted at that time. So it was between us and Hereford if we beat Doncaster. And of course, I had never been in the West Stand before that game. I'd always been, when I was a kid, behind the goal, the North goal. You know, I love the smell in the North Stand. And it was, when I was young, I thought, where's that smell? My dad said, he had a cigar on or something, and he said, this is the smell of the North Stand. And that was my great memory of the North Stand. I then graduated to the East Side, you know, and I used to meet up with Paul, who worked with me in my ad agency. And I'd be in New York or somewhere, and he and I would watch the Albion, Kevin Brebner smacking in the goals, while we were talking about what I'd been doing in New York that week. So, coming to the Goldstone, you know, the last ever game, I never had a season ticket at the Goldstone. I saw probably 1,500 games there, but for me to be sitting in the stand as the chairman, well, my dad he died years before. He would have been, you know, he would have been so proud, and I was, and we had to win, and because of these guys, we did, and we lived to fight another week, and we all went into that game, you know, at Hereford. I was supremely confident about Hereford until about an hour before kickoff. And I realised what we were up against. And where's Kerry? Is Kerry here?
Kerry's hiding, he's not here. He'll be here on Sunday.
Kerry scored, and we all know, no goal in the first half. He came off, slouched, his shoulders, you know, he was really compressed. And I did something in that game that I never did again. The second game as chairman of the Albion, I did something I never did again in all the time I was chairman. I went to stood outside the dressing room at half time. Steve was sitting there, the players came out. The last one was Kerry, still looking, you know, disconsolate, worried. I put my arm around him and said, it's a game of two halves. I was really very productive in what I said. You know, it was like the game isn't over. And Kerry, you know, I talked to him as we went to the tunnel. And I never did that ever again, but I'm so glad I had this chat with him, because when Robbie Reinhardt scored, you know, Kerry came back and put his thumbs up, and we all knew that was the rest of the, you know, we'd survived.
And you did it, well done. Thank you very much. Yeah, brilliant stuff. With us today, but Stuart will be here for the Man United match here at the Amex. It's always great when Stuart comes down. So we'll have him there, and we'll give him his Player of the Season award there. Okay, right. Let's get back on track then. Let's get this video up for you. For that game, it's the original nationwide league extra footage from the day. Winner took all, or in fact, a draw took all. Hereford versus Brighton, 3rd of May, Edgar Street on the screens.
There has never been a last day scenario quite like the one played out at Edgar Street this weekend. Hereford and Brighton met for a match guaranteed to span sports emotional extremes. At the end of Saturday, one of them would be dropping out of the Nationwide League. Well, at times in the build-up, it felt like a cup final. There's 2 sets.
I must have got a phone call at some point to come and manage a team that were 11 points adrift at the bottom of the Football League. What were you thinking?
I wanted a job. I'd been out of work for a while. I tried to get in at other clubs and failed. I got alerted to the fact that they were looking for a manager. So I applied, had an initial meeting at Captain Careful. I was then asked to go up to see the chairman in Crewe for another interview.
What was it doing in Crewe?
Trying to stay away from Brighton. And yeah, I was on my way back. I got alerted to the fact that they wanted me to become the manager, which I accepted straight away. And everything began from there.
Well, obviously the table didn't lie, and as we heard from the boys, it hadn't been